r/askreddit, Bernie Sanders says US should confiscate 100% of any money Americans make above $999 million, they can survive just fine. What do you think? Confiscate is certainly a choice of words. Bernie actually didn't say that. He didn't say that though. He's been misquoted all over the damn internet. If you can, find the actual interview. Fuck man. He didn't say that. He gave an interview and responded vaguely to a question about billionaires. I'm so tired of having to tell people to read the actual interview. Come on y'all, we know better than this by now. This is misinformation. You're a detriment to society. Yep. Same with the mods who refuse to remove this misinformation despite a sea of reports showing their colors. This is literal misinformation. I don't imagine the policy would ever have a chance to be exercised for many years. Billionaires don't have yearly salaries of $1 billion that the government can just take via income tax. They own assets that hold over $1 billion of value altogether. I own an asset called a house and they found a way to tax that every year. Taxing estates is not a new idea. Why is a Chris Wallace quote being attributed to Bernie Sanders? The fact that you used the word confiscate tells us all we need to know about what you think. When they tax poor people, they call it a fee. When they tax people who got rich off those fees, it's called confiscation. Billionaires will just find loopholes to not be a billionaire. I actually remember seeing the original idea in a form of a joke on Tumblr like 5 years ago. Said it should work like in video games when any money beyond $9.99 mil just falls on the ground. Does anyone actually make that much? Or their stocks and options are worth that much? There isn't a single person in the world that makes $1 billion or more in income each year. I think the average Redditor has absolutely no idea that there is a difference between income and wealth, and that forcing someone to liquidate their wealth is completely impractical and moronic. Tell a Redditor he has to pay a yearly taxes on the value of his Funko Pop collection and they will understand. Do I think that the government should step and seize all funds over X amount from individuals? Of course not. There would be massive structural problems with that. Do I think our tax code should reflect an asymptotic curve that makes it incredibly difficult to achieve billions in wealth and moves more of the tax burden to the incredibly wealthy? Yes, definitely. Total disaster. Absolutely. Why I still rent a room from my parents because where I live a 2-bedroom apartment is $3,600 a month and they are all family ones and do not allow roommates. All quotes on the internet are attributed to the wrong person. Colonel Harlan Sanders. Yes. I just won't buy unnecessary things. I'd have to do the math. Sure, I'll just have someone else buy the non-essentials for me and pay them back. Easy, yes. All the money that I would use on necessities I can use to buy extra stuff. It's a 90% discount after all. No brainer, right? Groceries, electricity, water, gas, mortgage, internet, all down 90% and are all recurring costs. The splurge items are all single point costs, so a 10 times higher price isn't that bad of a deal. I'd take the deal if the unnecessary items were 5 times more expensive, not 10. This would be a huge shock to the economy that would probably lead to an economic crash, unless the prompt implies it only happens for me. Even if it's just for me, I'd probably want to turn it down, since necessities aren't that expensive for me anyway outside of healthcare. I don't pay rent, and food and utilities combined are a small fraction of my income. I'd hate for the price of books and music to increase tenfold. Educational and instructional books would remain the same. Music would go up in price. Deleted. Drive-through would go down in price. It's food. Even if it's junk food. Cell phones are necessary, and the price would stay the same for a regular smartphone. But for the latest Samsung or iPhone, it would be 10 times higher. Internet does down 90%. Websites offering news would stay the same, but entertainment websites locked by subscriptions would go up 10 times. Bernie did not say that, the interviewer said that. Bernie shrugged. Edited for clarity. 100%. Food, rent, and utilities cost the most for me right now. Would medical, dental, and vision care be considered necessary things that get the 90% discount too? I don't think any of us would be able to afford a surgery or a prescription if it went up 90%. They stay at the same price because they're necessary. Absolutely, it would motivate me to stop spending money on things I don't need. Yes, but I'd try and learn crafts. Barter for unnecessary items might be more effective. But if you have the basics cheap then you can work less, rest more and less likely to retail shop for dopamine boosts. Other ways of getting them: if got time to enjoy life rather than the stress, food, shelter, etc. I'm assuming medicine is an essential. This is why you need algebra. So how would you set up the ratio to make it equally enticing on both sides? As someone with a lot of necessary medical expenses, I'd take this deal in a heartbeat. Is land considered unnecessary or a necessity? Necessary, of course. And GT, Bernie shrugged. I would totally read that book by Ayn Rand, but skip the 50-page monologue at the end. Is takeout, restaurants, and fast food considered necessary or not? Which cars are considered necessary? How ugly do you have to be for makeup and clothes to be a necessity? Everything I need suddenly becomes necessary. Does eating food beyond cooking very basic things at home count as unnecessary? Because then hell no, I wouldn't. I still probably wouldn't take the deal because it would make taking a vacation absurdly expensive,